welcome to 7th grade science. Today our learning goal is I can analyze data and help explain the relationships among our solar system. We're going to do this. Why are we doing this? The purpose is so that we can find future jobs and make connections. Those jobs, our agenda today is going to be the bell work. And then we're going to go into an introduction about what we're doing. We're going to find the range, the mean, the median, and the mode. We're going to plot points on the graph and look for patterns, and then share the information that we find that we gathered from that data. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do is turn your papers over to the very back for your bell work. I want you to try to answer these 3 questions. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you 2 minutes. If you don't know them, take a guess. After 2 minutes, we'll review them and we'll move on. It doesn't matter which one, just on the back of one at a time. Bell work. 1, 2, 3. Huh?
Gee.
Russell, if you want to get up and move around, you can.
Okay.
You don't have to sit there. Nice. Your papers over 1, 2, 3. You don't have to write the question, just tell me what you think the answer might be. Right there. After the bell work, you can do it, okay? So like 4 minutes. Diane, are you done? I think we're talking. I want to know if we're done work. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on. It sounds like a lot of you are not quite understanding what's on the board, the questions, which is okay. Hopefully by the end of the class you will know what these are. Sit down, Danny. Hey, Caleb.
Yes, sir.
What do you think data analysis is?
What?
What do you think data analysis is?
Analyzing data.
Okay, so you're analyzing data. That's actually correct. Good job, Caleb. So you're looking at some information, and you want to pull stuff from the information. So you want to make it more simplified. You want to, so you make something that looks really complex. You want to make it simple so other people can understand it. It's pretty much a generic term. What would a data analyst do in a career? Jared.
Hey, you're right, you're right.
Abby, want to take a guess? Okay, you're gonna pass?
Yeah.
Okay. Alexa, question number 2. Yep, what does a data analyzer or analyst do in a career? Okay, so they're going to collect data. They're going to analyze it for what, usually? So yep, they could be for sports statistics.
Free throw average.
That's good. He's kind of into sports, so free throw average, maybe how many yards they run. Maybe they're trying to figure out what's going on with an athlete. Box.
No.
Your pencil sharp goes down.
Why do you have to use the camera?
He just wants to get on.
We're cutting that part out.
Kind of scary.
It's not scary, it's actually really common.
Yeah.
What do you use it?
I'm gonna send it to the district office and they're gonna tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Aww, that sucks.
Nick, you go ahead and number 3, what do you think an annual pay would be for a working NASA analyst?
Like, how much they get paid?
Yeah.
Probably $30 to $40 an hour.
Okay, so he says $30 or $40 to an hour. Any other guesses? Yes, what do you have to say?
I said over like $1 million a year.
So $1 million a year. Any other guesses? 100 to 150 an hour?
If they got paid about every month, I think they get paid like $80,000 a month. Dude, being an analyst for NASA, that's a big deal.
So, what they make hourly is $38 an hour? Not as much as you thought it was. What they make a yearly is around $80,000 a year.
I think my mom makes more of that.
Less than a teacher. No, they make way more. I make a year.
Oh, that's 31,000?
Okay, so, anyways, so they pay pretty good. It's like as much as an engineer, they pay good money. A lot of times people think that you make tons of money. In reality, a lot of times the average salary range is between $15,000 and $35,000. That's the average median income in America. Yeah.
What was number 2?
Number 2.
And like an athlete. Or
I
analyze.
said collection unit.
Collect data.
A data analyst specifically translates numbers into plain English. Every business collects data, whether it's sales figures, market research, logistics, or transportation costs. A data analyst's job is to take the data and use it to help companies make better business decisions. So like Chris was saying, that you definitely want a data analysis if you are analyzing a team, like a professional football team. You'd want one of those to see. You want an average of how fast they are, how many catches they have, how good are their throws, what percentage are caught. All that stuff is what a data analysis would do. So Chris was right on with that one. Is there any questions about what a data analysis does? Yes, Brandy?
You mean data analysis? Oh, like not what do you mean like, does the data analysis get, who gets paid more, NASA or a data analysis?
Okay, it's going to vary from company to company and how much experience you have. Okay, so the average income for a data analysis at NASA is $80,000. Okay, if you look at their pay scale, because they're government always has to post their pay. Like my pay, what I make is online for everyone to see because I work for the government, I work for the state. So, yeah.
What else do they do?
Okay, well, that's pretty much what they do. So they can do it in many different fields, in many different areas. Okay, today, as kind of our bell, we're going to move into our introduction. So, NASA needs help from their next space mission. As data analysts, you guys, for NASA will be here. Our job to take information that we collect in the chart and simplify the information and transform it into a graph. So we're going to take some data and we're going to put it into a graph. Then we're going to look at that data that we condensed into the graph, see if we can pull out any patterns or any conclusions from that data. Okay, for some things we need to know first, we need to know what a range is, what a mean is, what a median is, and a mode. Do we have any ideas what those are? Olivia? Huh? Yeah, they're all math terms. Do you know what any of them mean? Yep.
The median is the average and the median, right, no, the median is the average and the median is the middle number.
Average. That's excellent. Anyone else know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also a few of you? Good. So I won't have to explain it too much. So a range. What is a range? Go in the back sheet of paper, write range. R-A-N-G-E. A range is a number from the smallest to the highest. What's the difference between the two? So if I just had some random numbers,
We write those random numbers.
okay, and I wanted to know the range, what's the lowest number in this list?
5.
5. What's the highest number in this list?
10.
So 10. So the range is going to be 5. The range is going to be the difference between these two. So if you want to go ahead and write that down, you can.
Where?
On the back of your sheet below your bell work. Okay, moving on to mean. We said it's the average. So you add up all your data and you times it or divide it by the number that you have. So you have 7 plus 8 plus 7 is 15 plus 5 is 20 plus 5 is 25.
35.
Plus 10 is 35. Thank you. Okay, so we have 35. What are we going to divide that by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's the mean?
7. It's 7. It's 7.
7.
You said 6.
So the mean would be a 7. Because 5 times 7 is 35, and so forth is 7. That's going to be your mean. So you may want to write down the mean is the average. And if you don't know how to get the average, what you do is you add up the numbers and divide it by the total amount of numbers. You want me to write that down or?
Got it.
Yeah.
That was the range or the mean or the?
And then divide them by. Okay, and that's what I mean. So, in this case, if we had, and we're moving on from mean to median, you can go ahead and write down median. It's just the middle number, like she said. So what's the middle number? If you were to put these in order. 5, 5, 7, 8, 10.
It's already in order.
So put middle number.
Mr. Smith, isn't it if like there's like an odd number of amount of numbers, then she have to like take a 2 and then like add them and then divide by 2?
Yeah. Okay, so she was saying that if there was maybe another 8, then there'd be 2 middle numbers. So you would take these two, add them up and find the average. So you have 15. Then you divide that by 2, which would actually be 7.5. So 7.5 would be the center of the number. Center of those two. We're not going to worry about that right now. The middle number, okay, and for the last one that we're going to go over is the mode. Okay, and with the mode, what you're looking for is the value that occurs most often. If no number is repeated, then there is no mode for the list. So is there any numbers that are repeated in our list?
5.
So the 5s. So the mode any, or the most amount of numbers repeated. Most. Most amount of numbers repeated. In this case, it'd be 5s. Definition of range is just the
Subtracting the lowest number and the highest number.
The difference between the lowest and highest numbers. Yes, we did see that, Randy. Thank you. Evan. Ethan.
I was showing them where the tissues were.
Okay, thank you. You want to sit back down?
Yeah.
Okay, that being said, wait, everyone grab the lights, please.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so what we have in front of us here is the data that you guys have. It's penetrating fact sheet metrics. The two things we're going to be comparing on our graph, what you guys got, which looks like that right there. We're going to go ahead and make kind of like a t-table. So the data that we're going to compare is the distance from the sun. Distance from the sun and the mean temperature. So what I want you to do is go ahead and write an x by distance from the sun and write a y by the mean temperature.
Wait, where?
Shut up.
Language, guys. Okay, so when the class of points, first we need to put some data on our graph. So what we want to do is look at the range of each of these columns or these rows of information. So what I want you to do is look at the distance from the sun. I want you to look at the range, the highest and lowest numbers. I want you to pull those out. Then I want you to look at the mean temperature, look at the highest and lowest numbers, so the average, but the range for both of those. So go ahead and take 2 minutes to find the range of the distance from the sun, and then the mean temperature. So I want the range. Go ahead and look for those two rows.
Mr. Miller, for the distance of the right, find the range.
Huh?
So find the range. For the distance.
The distance from the sun and also the temperature.
So we have to find the range and then
I'll find the range right now. Okay, Olivia, what's the range of distance from the sun?
0.384 to 5,000.
Okay, so as you see, she found the distance from the moon to the Earth. So this one right here where it says moon, and it's going to, see how it's got an asterisk next to it? This row doesn't really count, so you can go ahead and cross that row out. Okay, what's the next closest and smallest number? Okay, so the closest planet to the sun is going to be Mercury, that's going to be 57.9. Whereas if you go, and then we have the high end of the range, who has the high end of the range? Josh? What's the highest number in that row? The biggest number? Okay, so we have this number right here, which is the Pluto, the farthest away from the sun. That's good. Now we're going to move down to mean temperature. And Ethan, what's the low range for the mean temperature?
The low range for the mean temperature,
Yes, sir.
167. Oh wait, no, never mind. Negative 225.
Okay, so negative 225. Good job. And then what's the warmest mean temperature?
The
Or
warmest,
the range? Yeah.
464.
464. Okay, so those are the things that we're collecting. So we'll go ahead and we'll need to look at our T-graph. So go ahead and put that in front of you.
So many issues.
So what we're going to go ahead and do is lay our graph down. So go ahead and give it a title. And I'm going to give the title, it's going to be distance from sun equals temperature. Okay. So we have units on the, here is what y or x-axis is. Okay, Jordan. Okay, which one's the x-axis, which one's the y-axis? Okay, Andrew?
Y is going up, X is going up.
Okay, so the line that goes vertical is going to be the y-axis, and then the x-axis is going to be the horizontal one. So if you want to, you can go ahead and label them x and y. Let me get a pencil. X and y. So we have to include our ranges on here so that when we graph, we include all of our numbers. So we're going to go ahead and put the temperature as the y-axis. Anything that's above the x-axis is going to be positive. Anything that's below the x-axis is going to be negative. So what do we need to put right here in the center? We're go here. We're going to put 0. Okay. So what's our highest?
10.
Okay, I said it. Our highest temp is going to be 464. So let's just go ahead and put it at 500. What's our lowest temp?
That's 500, the top.
Negative 225. So we want to be proportional, so that right there is going to be half. So around 225 is going to be less than half, just a little bit. So we're going to have a negative 225. Okay, now we're going to do our other one, but we're going to label what this is. This is going to be mean temperature. It's going to be in Celsius. Okay, for our x-axis, What is it gonna be in?
Go, Fahrenheit.
Nope, if we're doing, distance over time, so we just covered temperature, or distance over temp. So if we got temp, what else can we put up there? Any ideas?
No,
Yeah.
is there anything under -65?
Eventually you could do, negative 500 if you wanted, so it's equal. Okay, so we're gonna have, distance being on the x-axis, or on the x-axis for the y-axis. So distance, so if we're at the sun, right here's the sun, so it'd be sun. Then the farthest we go from the sun is what? Which planet? The farthest.
Neptune. Pluto.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the dwarf planet of Pluto, which is gonna be 5870 times 10 to the 6th power kilometers. So what we'll wanna go ahead and write is go ahead and write out 60 or 6,000. 6,000 at the very end. 1, 2, 3. And times 10 to the 6th kilometers. Now you have your units. You have your numbers. Yeah, it's times 10 to the 6th power. Okay, what you want to do with your rulers is you want to go ahead and evenly space these out. So what's between 0 and 6,000? Doesn't matter, you're just separating the distance. In the very middle, it's going to be 3,000. So what's in between 0 and 3,000? It's going to be 15. Yep, 15000. This one right here is going to be 45. And those are just some rough estimates. And over here we have 250. Over here we have a negative 250.
Is it 1,500?
Yep.
Or is it 1,800?
Okay, so I will go ahead and show you how to plot the first one. After that, I want you guys to go ahead and plot the rest of them. But I'll do the first one, then I'll have one of you come up and do an example, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Mercury, because it's the closest planet to the Sun, and the temperature. So Mercury, distance from the Sun is only 57. So it's going to be really close. It's going to be, I'm going to draw a line right here. Mercury, what temp is it? It's going to be 167. So right here, I will draw a dot. I will write Mercury, and then I will go ahead and write the temp, which is a little high still. 167 Celsius, and then I will go ahead and write the distance, which is 57. Okay, so the next planet is Venus. Do you have a volunteer to come up and do it up here? Chris?
Oh, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay, so what's the next planet that he's doing? Venus? And someone tell him how far that is away from the sun?
What was that?
So 108, so you want to go ahead and go on the x-axis 108 away from the sun. Right, so this right here, the center of this is 750. So it's going to be, what's happening to 50 is 25, 108, it's going to be in there somewhere, you know what I mean?